If it does look like I'm breaking my arms and possibly my neck in the building of the thumbnail, it is actually correct. Hello beautiful bookworms, my name is Katarina and welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a book haul because I haven't done one for a while and I've accumulated some books. Not exactly books, I've accumulated a lot of manga and fantastically some comics as well. And I do have 2 books, but apparently I'm now a manga / comic book channel instead of actual books, which I mean, it's cool as well. In this video you will see a lot of my obsessions, old and new, and I will be found out for someone who likes dark, creepy things and have unhealthy obsessions with characters. Which I mean, were you expecting anything else? I would also like to say that I have only purchased one of the things that you will see in this haul. The rest were all gifted to me either by my mom or my boyfriend, and mostly him, but mom as well. He just sponsors my book hauls for some reason. I don't know, I'm very thankful. Yay. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So the first book, actual book that I'm going to show you is a special edition, and it's an edition that I'm not going to spend a lot of time with, particularly because of all of the controversies regarding the author of this, but this was a gift by my mom. She's actually making the entire collection for me, so even though there are these controversial situations, she decided that she still wanted to gift this for me because it made no sense in her mind that I was going to stop making the collection. So I'm just going to show it, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because you already know what this is and it doesn't need to be publicized more. So it is the Ravenclaw edition of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I just got it. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I am very sad about all of the things that have gone with the author, which we do not support on this channel, but yeah, there were only 2 or 3 books left for me to finish the collection, so my mom gifted this to me. Yeah, moving on. So now to happier occasions, the actual book that I did bought, and I haven't shown in a book haul, but you already know that I have because I have an entirety of a vlog where I do talk about it, and that is Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. This is the Illumicrate special edition, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I have already shown it in my vlog, but for those of you that haven't seen that, which you should because I scream and I cry a lot, this is gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. I do not have the Illumicrate edition of King of Scars, but the normal edition of King of Scars is actually really beautiful, so we are cool with that. And I read it, I loved it. Not my favorite Grishaverse book, but a good Grishaverse book. So, yeah. And then the rest of this video is comics and manga. So I'm going to start with comics first because it's the least amount that I have, which is normal for me. I read more manga than comics, although that might be changing for some reasons, but yeah. And the comics or editions that I have, and I will explain to you why I say editions, all have to do with one of my biggest obsessions, one of my favorite characters, not in terms of I would marry that character because fuck no, but in terms of I would like to dissect your brain character, favorite character. If you know me, you know what it is, but I have got a bunch of Joker stuff. And if you don't know, how can you possibly not know, but the Joker is one of the main villains in DC Comics, mainly, of course, in the Batman universe. And he's incredible. I love the Clown Prince of Crime. Not love, okay? I have to say this. He's toxic as hell and very, very extremely dangerous, but he's just completely insane. Or is he? And I love him. And so the first comic that I got is Punchline. It's the first Punchline comic. This is by Tinian Fourth, Johns, Andolfo, and Fajardo Jr., which the names of these people, they're even more complicated to pronounce than some of the mangakas that I own. And Punchline is not exactly a Joker comic, but it's about the new main female character that hangs out with the Joker. And even though I love Harley Quinn, I never loved her dynamics with the Joker because it's a toxic dynamic, it's a toxic relationship, and he does not treat her correctly, and she suffers a great deal just for being in his surroundings. However, I absolutely love the dynamic between the Joker and Punchline because I think that for the first time, the writers actually gave an equal to the Joker in female terms. She's ruthless, she is aggressive, she's dangerous, she's really smart at the same time. And she does not go with his bullshit, even though she's obsessed with him, I am also obsessed with him, so. Actually, and this might be a spoiler for the comics, but I mean, it's not really a spoiler. You know they're going to meet, you know they're going to have a relationship. And I'm going to show this page because I screamed when I read this, because when they met, she had been dosing everyone with that drug that makes people smile and laugh that he uses most of the times in the comics, and she doesn't have the formula quite right, but she's trying to get his attention. And he gets her and he says, "You do not have the formula quite right." And he's like, "I can help you get the formula right." And she stabs him and she's like, "No, baby, I can help you because you fucking need me." And they're both toxic as fuck, but this relationship works for me more than the Joker and Harley because she's just a victim and it's really sad how much she actually really likes him and tries to help him. Punchline doesn't give a shit. She's just like, she stabs him and she's like, "Bitch, no, I'm the boss in here and you're gonna listen to me." And I loved it. I can get behind this. So I'm very excited to know more about the character of Punchline, which I've heard that some people don't really like her, but I don't care. I really love her. Then, of course, we have the new creation for a Joker series, and that is the Joker issue 1 and the Joker issue 2, which are the only ones that have came out, and I'm very excited for the next one because, oh my god, this is just so fucking cool. So this is created by Tynion, March, and Prianto, and also features the ending of each comic features a Punchline appearance and what is going on with her, and of course by the creators of Punchline. And this is basically a sort of noir, dark story of Jim Gordon, which you can actually say he's our main character, not the Joker, even though the series is called the Joker, but whatever. I can get behind that as well. So Gordon is retired and he's presented with the possibility, because the Joker has pissed off a lot of people, including a lot of Batman villains, which is pretty cool. So he's now MIA and every fucking one wants to kill him. As you do, because he's fucking annoying, and I get that. So Gordon is presented with the opportunity to be the one to track him down and possibly bring him back to justice, or just maybe kill him. So I think it's going to be very morally gray, and I love how we're going to explore the Joker as a boogeyman for Jim Gordon, because of course in other plot lines of other writers and other Joker and Gordon relationships, he fucked him up pretty bad, and his family as well. So I am very excited to see what will Gordon decide to do. And the Joker, I mean, this new look is pretty devilish, and he's missing an eye, and I love it. I mean, we just love it. And then if you thought that that was enough, it is fucking not, because I have an obsession. And so my boyfriend kindly gifted to me the Joker. 80 years of the Clown Prince of Crime. This is a deluxe edition of the best Joker appearances, the best Joker situations in comics. It has, I believe, the first appearance of the Joker in Batman 1. It has the story that inspired the interrogation scene in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight, which is called Soft Targets, a never-before collected story by Bill Finger, co-creator of Batman. 400 pages of stories featuring the Clown Prince of Crime notorious escapades as he fights Batman, works with Harley Quinn, and wreaks havoc in Gotham City, and reflections and history lessons about the Joker's incredible past by comic legends Paul Dini, Scott Snyder, Jeff Loeb, Dan Didio, and Steve Englehart. True crime journalist Billy Jensen, and beloved actor Mark Hamill, which we love as well. It also has an extensive gallery featuring some of the most celebrated covers starring the Joker and much, much more, which, I mean, for an obsessive collector of the Joker like me, yay! Because, I mean, never in my life would I be able to get the first appearance of the Joker in comics, like the original. That must be worth like 1,000 euros, more than that, and probably out of print every single fucking place. So, this is great! And I am planning to do an all-theme Joker video. So, get ready for that one, and I'm going to read this, and I'm going to study the character, and I'm going to fall in love again and again with this toxic character. We love it. Now for the manga, this first manga is not really mine, but I am the one that reads these, so even though this is my boyfriend's copy, let's just assume that it's mine for a reason. And that is Lovesickness by Junji Ito. This is a collection of short stories by the master of horror. And if you don't know, I have a lot of videos where I talk about all of his works translated in English, and I also have a video where I talk about this and review this actual manga, which I've already read and, of course, absolutely loved. It wasn't the favorite of all of his works, but it was pretty great, except for the last story that has to do with the rubber poop. And I don't know why we're talking about poop. I don't know. I was looking at this and I was like, did this dude snap? I think he snapped. But it was very interesting, and I always like how his stories are dark and gritty, and the art is beautiful, and he always tackles, at least in my opinion, something that can be metaphorically associated with our society today and Japanese traditions. So I think it's always great. One of my favorite mangakas. Then I've got Umineko When They Cry, or Umineko no Nakokoro ni, and this is volume 14 of the Umineko series, volume 2 of episode 6 arc, which I know it's complicated. For me, it's complicated as well. There's just so many volume-ish things, but this is so complicated to explain. This is sort of a series where it's about this big family, and the patriarch of the family is sort of making everyone go into this island where he lives, and he's stating that the person that can find the solution to the enigma of Beatrice the witch is the one that's going to inherit all of his wealth and riches. So there's a lot of people in this family, there's a lot of children, there's a lot of adults, and what happens is they start dying. So the main character that we're following is Butler Shiromiya, and he is this teenager dude in this family, and he doesn't believe in magic, and he doesn't believe in the witch. So what happens is Beatrice tells him, we're going to play a game of chess, you and I. Your pawns will be your family, and my pawns will be magic. So if I win, all of your family dies, and you will be my slave forever. If you win, your family can live, and I will cease to exist because you will have proven that magic does not exist. It's very complicated to explain, but it's sort of a game of wits between people. And I love it. I love smart, intelligent characters. I do also love magic, of course. And I love gory, gruesome death scenes, which we do have in here. I'm sorry, but it's true. So yeah, this is volume 14th. I bought it because I had all of the volumes up until 15 except for this one, and now there's more volumes which I have to get to in order to read this, because I want to binge read the series, because I have a feeling that I will love it. The anime for this is shit, by the way, so don't watch it, although it has an incredible opening scene. Then I've got RWBY, the official manga by Bunta Kinami, and this is volume 2. It is based on the Rooster Teeth animation, RWBY, and it's basically the manga version of the animation of RWBY. If you don't know, it's a magical girl animation, and it's about these characters that go into this school to learn how to be monster hunters, because their world is kind of being attacked by grim monsters. It has some hellos to some known fairy tales. The monsters are called Grimm, so I mean Grimm fairy tales. If you haven't got there yet. And it's pretty cool because it's a bunch of badass ladies. There's also badass men, of course, but it's just so fucking great. They have a lot of weapons, they have a lot of it's magical girls. It's magical girls and boys fighting monsters. And then there's a lot of political situations that you don't think will be as complex as they get into the end of the series. So I'm still finishing watching the animation, but I want to start reading the mangas because they look beautiful. The art just looks pretty cool. And yeah, there's a lot of plots and a lot of enemies, and I really love it. Then we have Made in Abyss, Volume 9, and this is by Akihito Tsukushi, and this is about a civilization that lives near an abyss and goes into the abyss to just find stuff to maintain themselves, treasures to trade and sell, or stuff to eat, or stuff. But the problem with this abyss is a bit of a sci-fi horror genre, a dystopian kind of thing. The problem with this abyss is that further into you go, there are some symptoms and effects that coming up will have in your body, so you will potentially die if you go further down into the abyss, and then you can't come up because you'll start bleeding, you'll start having hallucinations, and you will die. You will no longer be a human, basically. So the story is about our main character, Jesus, I forgot her name. There's been so long since I've read a Made in Abyss story. Anyway, you wouldn't say this is one of my favorite manga series. It really is, but I forgot her name. Riko? I think it's Riko, but I'm not sure. So anyway, her main character is a really small child, and her mother is a deep diver into the abyss. So her mother went into the end of the abyss and never came back, obviously because she couldn't, or she would die. So she doesn't know if she's alive or dead, but one day she receives a letter from her mother that says, meet me at the bottom of the abyss. And she knows that she's going to die if she goes down the abyss because she has no fucking training whatsoever to survive in the abyss. And because of the effects that coming up after that will have on her body, she will lose all of her friends. She will never see all of the people that she grew up with again. And yet she goes, because the abyss calls to her. And it's just a beautiful, dark, twisted story about the depths of humanity and what it means to have a soul, to be human, and then not being anymore. And it's just, if you can't handle children abuse, please, for the love of God, do not read this, because I'm laughing, but it's not funny at all. I mean, I cry in pretty much every volume, and I think that this one is not going to be different because it says on the brink of destruction. And it just talks about revenge and destruction. Yes, Riko. Riko is the name of the main character. Oh, I'm great. So yeah, I'm very excited to read this. This also has a warning for parental advisory, but it's pretty much for gore and abuse, basically. Then we have The Girl from the Other Side, Volume 10 by Nagabe. And this is, again, one of my favorite manga series ever. The art of this, I'm trying not to spoil myself. The art of this is gorgeous. This is a very nostalgic story about this sort of medieval village, and there's the insiders and the outsiders in the forest, and the outsiders, or the ones from the other side, are people that were touched by a curse, and they start to slowly transform into monsters, like this one in the cover. They lose all of their human memories, but they were once human. And then slowly they begin transforming into trees and dying. And the people on the inside are terrified, and they are trying to find a solution through religion and monarchy to this situation. They're hunting the outsiders, and there's just a situation here. It's a very beautiful, nostalgic thing. It's also very, very sad. I haven't read Volume 9 or 10 because I think this ends at Volume 11. And so I'm going to binge read the entirety of the series and make a video about it because I just want to. This is just beautiful and deserves its own video. Then we have The Ancient Magus Bride, Volume 14 by Korei Yamazaki, and I finally know the name of one of the mangakas that I read. It's hard. So if you don't know The Ancient Magus Bride, it's about this girl, Shizue Atori, and she has a really rough life. She can feel the other side of the veil, let's just say it. This is based on folkloric English magic, and so she can feel like fae and creatures that live on the other side, and so she always had bad luck in her entire life, and she sold herself into slavery because she thought it was the only way that she could be stopped from killing herself and bringing bad luck to the people that she lived with. And she is purchased by Elias. Elias is a magus. He's also a monstrous creature. He's not human, and he buys her to teach her how to harvest this power and to use it, and also to be his bride, because he doesn't understand a lot about human communication and how to socialize, and so he wants to learn, and he wants to use Chise for that matter. But it just gets way more deeper than that, and their relationship just gets beautiful, and it's about mainly how a girl with mental health issues such as depression can finally see her life as something beautiful and worth living. And this second arc, which you enter into the second arc in volume 10, the first 9 volumes are one arc, and then you get to another arc. It's an arc in a college where Chise, she's a magus, is going to meet some alchemists, which is another type of magic that magus have trades with the fae folk and other people, and alchemists just don't have magic, so they have to do other types of sciencey things. So she's learning these types of things, and there's a lot of new threats and a lot of new friends and a lot of new things. I'm really enjoying it, and I want to see where this is going. Also, this is possibly the only fae-based thing that I actually like, because for some reason I really hate fae stories. So if that says anything, you should pick this up. Then if you watch my If you watch my last wrap-up, you know I read a Ninyo Asano manga called Dead Demons DDD Destruction, which I cannot explain why, but I absolutely love it, and I got volume 2. And I'm so fucking excited for this. Legit, I love this, and I don't know how to explain this. This is sort of a sci-fi-ish concept in which aliens invaded Tokyo, but they're not doing anything. They're just covering the sun, so they have machinery and their own cities on top of the sun. So people have vitamin D deficits and things do not grow and stuff like that because there's no sun. However, people are just living their fucking lives because the aliens aren't invading or doing anything. They're just there. So people start to not worry about that and worry about their fucking lives. And so you see these 2 teenage girls and how they're living their lives and the society around her, and what it means to live in the brink of the apocalypse when there's actually nothing going on. And it's really interesting, and it's obviously a social criticism, of course. And the art of this is just so freaking cool. I just love Inyo Asano for some fucking reason, and I always say that if you can, just get one of his mangas to see his art and to see his stories, because they're always really great. Then, to finish off, we have 2 last mangas. We have a standalone manga that I have heard people talk about, but I haven't read, so I don't know if it's good. It's called Haru's Curse, and this is by Asuka Konishi. It's a bit big, but it's a standalone, so I don't know. And for what I understand, this is about the sister of this woman is engaged to this man, and she dies. I don't know why. And she was her sister's whole world, and this man loved her very, very much. And at the funeral, they agree to date each other because it's sort of like she always liked him, and he loved her sister, and the sister loved him. So it's kind of a thing that the sister is sort of uniting them at the same time, but it's a bit of a taboo because she just died and they were engaged and they were sisters. It's very strange, and people have told me that in terms of psychological depth, it goes into it. So I really want to see what comes out of this. I don't know anything else about this. The art is not the most astonishing thing ever, but I am betting on the story being cool, I hope. And then we have one that I'm very excited about. I'm excited about all of these, but this one, I don't know what to expect. So this is something new that just came out, and it's called MADK. I don't fucking know what this stands for, and I don't even care. And this is by Ryo Suzuri, and this has explicit content because this, I have to read you the back because I don't know how to explain this in any way. But it says, Makoto has long been ostracized because of his odd hobbies and a sexual kink others would see as disgusting. Which is basically cannibalism. Yes, I said what I said. One day, he finds a book on summoning demons and manages to summon the intimidatingly beautiful and rather chatty Archduke J. The demon offers to grant Makoto's deepest twist desires in exchange for his life. Once Makoto has sated his demented appetites, he fulfills his end of the bargain only to find he's been reborn as a monster in hell. Basically, for what I understand, this is boy-boy love, and cannibalism, and demons. So, I mean, this is a stretch even for me, but the premise of this, I was like, fuck my life, I have to read this. I have to know if this is good or not. And this is so small. I mean, and gorgeous. Look at this cover. I mean, it is supposed to be triggering and violent, but the art is just really beautiful. I don't want to spoil myself, but it's just, I don't know. I'm all about reading about twisted, deep, darkest desires because I like the psychology of it. I don't know what to tell you. If I want to cannibalize people, I mean, I like to bite eventually, but not eating flesh of human beings. At least, not that I know of. If I would like to have sex with demons, I mean, not really. That might not be very advisable, but I mean, what is this? I don't know. I want to know. I really want to know. And the fact that I bought this apparently convinced one of my friends to actually get it too. So I hope this is good for both our sakes. I don't know. We will see. So that's going to be all for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like or subscribe down below. If you've read any of these books / mangas, tell me something in the comments down below. Just tell me if you love them, if not, or if you're intrigued by any of these. So that's going to be all for today, and happy readings to you all. Bye!